Hi everyone, this is Gareth from the Perihelion Games team. I managed to leave the my microphone off when I did this video the first time around, so I have sat down a couple of days afterwards to do a voiceover. So I now have to try and remember exactly what it was that I was doing. But here you can see me with the box that arrived by courier from China. I was just trying to take a look and see if I could work out the best way to open it. Cutting away from myself, people. I suddenly have an appreciation of the challenge faced by sports commentators. This is double skin cardboard. Nice slicing technique, although he is cutting towards the product inside the box here. I'm a little bit disappointed by this lapse. I don't know how he's going to manage to avoid damaging the product inside. Certainly when I was opening it, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I managed to put a knife into the box? That wouldn't be a great reveal. This has been a long time coming, and very much like the first time we got a demonstration copy before we ran the Kickstarter campaign. It's a little bit like opening a box with a almost like a newborn child in it, something that you've put a lot of effort into putting together, and seeing the result for the first time is really very pleasant. I think I'm almost done with this packaging. Who'd have thought? 2 minutes, haven't got the box open. Alright, here we go. Yep, this is bubble wrap. Perihelion Games bubble wrap. Oh, I'm surprised at how excited I was to have it. Okay, let's have a look what we've got. We've got some more plastic that's been used to pad out the box. Something in rolled up white paper. And 2 sample copies of Periorbis. One is shrink wrapped. Looking very good. Nice heft. Back of the box checks out as well. Yeah, I think the initial impression is good. We're pleased. This one doesn't have any shrink wrap on it. I don't know if you can see this, but we've gone for a sort of matte finish on the box, and that's part of what I was running my hands over just to see how that feels. It's a sort of slightly plasticized matte feel, so a really nice premium feel to the outside of the box. We're really pleased with it. Okay, let's open her up. Stuff. So what we can see here, we can see the money tokens. Set those aside for a moment. We've got the player pieces. So that's 8 different colours. So 6 for the players, and then 9 different colours, and then 3 for the ore tokens. Those are the discs for players. This is the summary sheet. Rulebook. We're really pleased with the rulebook. We think it looks really good. I think there's a couple of things that we want to... Let's just have a little flick through. So this is how the rules are presented inside. Color-coded sections. So as you move from different explanations, so this is the one about the captain in blue. So they're themed to the cards. So there's a general connection between what it is you look at. So these are the miners in purple, science in yellow, the different activities. So you get that sense of how things work. And then obviously our little miner fellow looking away into the distance. This is the first thing that took me by surprise, actually. So China, these are meant to be single-sided, but they've been printed double-sided. I think perhaps just a miscommunication somewhere. It isn't bent, that's because I'm using a fisheye lens, so there's a little bit of distortion. We're really pleased with the quality on these, and cleverly I've taken it off screen to have a closer look. I think the backers that have funded this, so you can see the backer images on the top left, these come out really crisply. We're really pleased with those. And finally, green and orange. Don't worry if you can't see things quite clearly enough. I'm gonna take some photographs and then set those up as well in a gallery so that you can see some of the high definition images that I've taken of these different things. That's the 6 turn token. So if you're going to play a half game, you place that in turn 6, so there's an extra availability. These are the new tokens for employee hiring costs, 4 times and 3 times. Took a surprising amount of effort to explain to China that we wanted them to have a different image on each side. These are the mining tokens. That's a purple mining token. Just put these back in the bag. Because I don't know about you, but I'm keen to get down to that board at the bottom of the box. You might have noticed already that the cards are missing. The samples that they've set didn't include the ship or employee cards. The roll of white paper behind me on the floor there is the cards. They've sent them as samples. So we'll look at those a little bit later on in the video. But for now, the game board, let's have a peek. Excellent. So we're really pleased. The initial impression checks out. The quality is very good. The lines are very clean. I'll send you some photographs so you can see that. And we're really pleased with this new look as well. We've aimed to make the board look like a dashboard. So you imagine you're holding like a futuristic iPad in front of you, all these different summary areas that tell you different things that are going on, and then that central box with the year planner in it, which shows you where the asteroid's going to be over the next 12 months. We're pleased with this. It's good thickness, good and strong. I think you might have noticed that there's a fairly large fold in the middle, and so we're going to ask if it's possible to have that be a half cut. There's a different way of folding game boards that reduces the amount of fold space on the front. Here I'm doing a quick review of the money tokens. There's a small error on these. They should have a linen finish, but these have been provided in clear gloss. Which we're actually quite taken with. We've had a discussion about whether or not we want to go with these as the final result, or do we want to go with linen as we'd initially specified. I think we're still going with linen, but we were pleased that we got these in gloss because it meant that we had a direct comparison. The very first copy that we were sent had linen finish tokens, which I think feel a little bit nicer in your hand. It's one of those little considerations. And that's a collection of money, so we've broadened them now. So you've got a 50, 20, 10, 5 and a 1. Makes it a little bit easier to make up different amounts. Also meant that we could slightly reduce the number of tokens in the game. So sometimes when you're playing games, you'll find that you've got a lot of money that you don't use very much. So that especially the higher denomination bills tend to not be particularly useful because you only have a large amount of money towards the end of the game. In Periorbis, it's broadly the same, so we wanted to make sure that actually making up smaller amounts of money was more straightforward. So we've emphasized those lower denominations while leaving enough of the 50s in, effectively 1 per player, to allow for some accumulation towards the end of the game. As for the box itself, really pleased. Good strong cardboard. We've changed it. It's a little bit. We've changed the lengths a little bit, so it's a little bit shorter on each side now, which gives it some more stability. So the box itself is tougher, just because the distances are a little bit smaller. We're really pleased with that change. The increase in rigidity has come out just the way we wanted it. At this point, I'm just checking the alignment. So there we put these game icons around the edge of the box. We've also put some images, and you can see that we've used up quite a lot of the space on the back. There's not a lot of clear space around the edges. We just wanted to make sure that was working properly and we were comfortable with it. Now I'm going to go back through and have a look at some of these bags of components that I'd set aside earlier. It's been just about long enough that I can't remember which bag I'm going to open first. Looks like it's going to be the tokens. One of the things you might not be aware of is that that's not the correct font for the numbers. We've got a couple of fonts that we use for Periorbis and all of the pieces. And for whatever reason, this sample set demonstrates the colours for these tokens, but not the correct font. So these numbers won't look quite the same in your version. But the colours will. These are the correct colours. And we've got a Pantone colour checker, which is how you communicate colours with people that are a long way away. There's a sort of an industry standard set of colours, and so we can check these against the coloured pads to make sure that they've actually used the colours that we asked for. You can see they're quite bright, and they're also quite rolly, so putting them back into the bag wasn't my finest hour. These also won't all be in the same bag when it comes to the production sets. So this was very much about getting the components over for inspection. The final version of the game will have bags for each player, and you'll be able to put all of the pieces, so the mining tokens, the coloured cubes and the discs, into a bag to make up a pack for each of the 6 players that can play Periorbis. Yep, and that's me struggling to close a Ziploc bag. Don't tell anyone. So I'm looking at the time on the video, and it looks like I haven't actually taken that much of a closer look at the cubes and the tokens, which is a bit of a shame. So we have gone through everything. You've seen all the different bits and pieces, and I need to follow up perhaps with some of those photographs so you can see some of these things individually and separately. We're really pleased. We like the quality of the products. I think I also need to do a quick review of the cards, because it looks like I haven't opened those during this video. So I'll do that as well, and we'll get this posted. Thank you all for supporting Periorbis.